again, fellow RC enthusiasts. It's your host, Tom Cogswell, here from Horizon Hobby and SpektrumRC, here to talk to you about another tutorial video. In this one, we're going to be covering how to update a DX5 Pro. This tutorial also includes the DX5 Pro earlier versions and the DX5R. Any DX5 radio that has an SD card slot on the side, you can essentially follow along with this to learn how to update it. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is my own DX5 Pro. As you can see, it's got some extra little doodads on it because I use it quite oftenly. Those are not required, but what you will need for this update process is a micro SD card and potentially a micro SD card adapter. So this is a micro SD card. This is the one that I use with this radio. Get it in focus here, come on. It is a PNY 32 gigabyte card. That's about as big as you can use. It's more than enough. The adapter is just your everyday micro SD card to regular SD card adapter. You may not need this. It kind of depends on the computer you're going to be using. And speaking of computers, you will need a PC with internet access, and you will need to create a SpektrumRC account. And we'll walk you through that as we go through this video. So first off, with your DX5 Pro, you'll see on the side here that there is a slot underneath this little rubber door here. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right there. And you're going to take your micro SD card and you're going to fit it into that slot. I believe it goes in upside down, so you'll see the little contact tracers will go up towards the screen. And if it doesn't seem to go in right, don't shove it, but it does have a little spring-loaded action to it. And most of the time the radio will turn on when you plug it in. All right, so it's on. And the first thing that I'm going to recommend that you guys do is to back up your models before you update your transmitter. And the reason for that is in some cases, the update may delete your model list. So to do that, we're going to click on the scroll wheel. We're going to go all the way down to System Setup. You're going to choose Yes. And we're going to go to Transfer SD Card. Wait for it to tell you it's ready. You're going to go to Select Option, change that to Export Models. Where are you at? Export all models. There we are. And it will warn you that it'll overwrite. That's okay. Hit Export. It may take a little longer than what it did on mine. It just kind of depends on how many model files are on your radio. And now all those model files are on your transmitter. And then once you're done, if you notice that your model files are gone, come back to this same screen and choose Import All Models. Not Export, but Import. Are you at Import? There it is. And do the same thing. Quick side note, you will need to rebind if you have to re-import all your model files. Just so you know, that will be the case. All right, so now that we've covered that, let's get to updating our firmware. The first thing you're going to want to do is go down to System Settings, go to About there, and it'll tell you what our serial number is and the current firmware version. I'm currently on 2.02. Your firmware may be different. Just know that that's what that is there for. The numbers here, or letters, or rather, that's your serial number. You could just take that and type it into our registration page, which we'll walk you through later. But an easy way to do it is just to click on the word export. What that does, and if your radio's up to date, it does this automatically when you plug in an SD card. But what it does is it saves a file to your SD card called my_DX5Pro.xml. And what that is it's a copy of this serial number onto the SD card, and it makes registration super easy. All right, so now that we've done that, we need to pull up our computer and get cracking on creating an account if you don't already have one, registering your radio, and downloading the update. So let's pull up my computer. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take the SD card out of your transmitter, like that. You just kind of remember it's spring loaded, so just push your finger on it and it'll come out. We're gonna put it in our micro SD card adapter if we need it. We're gonna locate the slot on our computer to put the SD card into, and you'll plug it in. All right, so once you've got your computer pulled up, you're gonna go ahead and go to SpektrumRC.com. Now our webpage may not look exactly the same. We're actually in the middle of updating it, but you will still have the ability to go to My Spectrum for logging in and registering. So I'm gonna log out here just so we can pretend that we're all ready to go. We're gonna go to log in or sign up here in the top right corner. And if you don't already have an account, you're gonna click sign up and you're going to make an account. Once you've made an account, it's going to send you an email to the email address that you use. It's gonna go ahead and send an email there that activates your account. Remember to go there before you try to log in because your account won't be active until you've activated the account. I've already got an account, so I'll go ahead and either click login, or another thing you can do is go to support and click on My Spectrum. I'm going to log into my account. I'm going to go to register new product or click on product registration here. There's two ways to get there. They both go to the same place. And you're going to go ahead and look at all your information here. And we're going to go to About My Product. You're going to go to Model. And we're going to scroll through the many long list of different registrable products that we have here. And you're looking for DX5R or DX5R Pro, this one right here. You can give it a nickname, you don't have to. All these other fields you don't really have to fill in. What is important is the serial number. So like I was saying, you could look at that serial number right off the screen and type it in here. If you do it that way, do not include the dashes. It already puts the dashes in for you. So the easiest way to get the serial number to this section without having to read it off of your transmitter is to use this function here, the upload serial number from XML file. We're gonna click select. Once you've clicked select, you can go down to where your drive is at, or the SD card. This one's called no name. A lot of them will be that way on a Mac, but on a Windows PC, essentially the steps are the same. We're gonna go to mydx5pro.xml. That's the file that we're looking for. We're gonna click open, and you're gonna click upload from XML file. If you guys need help with something like this on a Windows PC and the Mac's kind of throwing you off, I'll leave a link in the description below where you'll be able to see this kind of process done with an air transmitter, granted, but it's the exact same process on a Windows PC. All right, once you've got that in there, see how it just kind of pasted it right there for us without having to do any kind of guessing at what the letters were. That helps out a lot. You can give it a registration name. You don't have to. You don't have to put all this stuff in it. It just kind of helps us know where you got it. It's really a marketing tool for us, so I would ask you to, but you don't have to. You can put some comments and things like that. One thing you do have to put in is this CAPTCHA code, and it is case sensitive. Once you've got that, you're going to click register, and it will register the radio to your account. All right, so now that it's registered, we'll go ahead and go find it here in my long list of registered products. I have lots of stuff. We're looking for a DX5 Pro, and it's this one here. An easy way, if you didn't give it a nickname, I always look at the last 4 of the serial number. That's a simple way to see which one it is. If you have a lot of products, like I do, on your registration list, you're gonna click this download updates link right here. And you're going to download the latest version. I would take a quick glance at the other ones just to make sure there's no warnings or anything telling you that you need to install a previous update before you can install this one. Most of the time you can just skip ahead, so you can keep that in mind, but it's always a good way or a good idea to double check. All right, you're going to click this download button here. And like it did in the bottom left of my screen, it will show the download has appeared on my computer. In some cases, it may be in the top right-hand corner. It just kind of depends on the browser that you're using. So there we are. We have the firmware update file downloaded onto my computer. So what do we do next? We're gonna go back to our SD card, and you're gonna find your downloads. it is going to be this one here. If you're using a Mac, it's super easy. You just go down here and drag and drop the update to your radio or to the SD card, which is already open on this window. You could, on Windows, like I said, you can follow along with that other video I have in the description. I just decided to do this with Mac so it can better appease Mac users as well. And now it's there. So one more thing that you want to do is you do want to rename this file. The reason you want to do that is if it's named anything other than spmtx.sax, it will not automatically update your radio when you plug it into your radio and turn it on. You'd have to choose it out of the transfer SD card menu, which is okay. It's just something to keep in mind. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put spmtx. I just changed the name to that and let it save it as that type of, that's the name of the file. We're gonna eject the card. Clicking there. Take the card out of our computer. And now we're gonna put this card with the update file into our DX5 Pro. All right, we get our DX5 Pro. And like I said earlier, at least on this version of the DX5 Pro, as soon as you plug in the SD card, it's gonna turn on. And when it turns on, it will see that that update's on the card and it'll start installing that firmware update. Oh, it made a liar out of me. So I'm gonna turn on the radio and you'll see that. This bar here, get it faced right for you, is going to fill several times. That's okay, just let it do its thing. It may take a few minutes. If it seems to just keep on resetting over and over in a loop, then that could be an indication that it doesn't like the SD card or the update. But if you see the bar moving at all, then it's working just fine. Just let it do its thing. Oh, it's done. So now I've got the new update already on my DX5 Pro. And that's it. That's really all there is to it. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video. See you out there on the drag strip.